Well, hello, everybody. This is Jennifer again. We are here back for episode number 2. I am so excited to share with you guys today. Thank you for joining us on the Expressions of Destiny podcast. We are going to learn so much in the coming days, months, years, however long you decide to hang out with us. We would love to have you. So, first of all, I want to thank everybody who listened to episode 1. It was such a just powerful moment to be able to share and encourage you guys just in the things that we go through on a daily basis. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, we are going to be posting podcasts twice a week. Fridays will be our Faith-Filled Friday, Faithful Friday, whatever you want to call it, but it is going to be the time for us to come and just encourage you, lift you up, give you hope, bring a word about God's love, peace, joy, everything that we need to help keep us going so that we can press through every day, come out stronger in the end. On Tuesdays, we will be coming to you with, now I was going to call it Training Tuesday, but I kind of like the word Teachable Tuesday better. Coming from a teaching background, we always have room to learn and grow. I am still learning. My husband is still learning. Our family members, friends, we are always learning. Every single day is a teachable moment. It is a time to just really embrace the things that we love, that we have a passion for, and get excited about learning something new. You've always heard it said, chew the meat and spit out the bone. We're going to dig in. We are going to dig in. And anything that is able to help you in your journey with your business, whether you're self-employed, you work for a company, you own a company, you have a small business, medium-sized business, large business, if you are just huge at the corporate level, like some of these really massive companies, it does not matter. We always have room to grow. Always. And so I just want to be here to share with you some of the things that I have seen that has helped people be even more successful. And it's not just about the success and the hype of success, but it's about knowing that you are doing everything that in your ability that aligns with your passion and with your purpose. And so when we're able to go back to those simple things of just knowing what it is that we're doing, understanding why we do it, knowing how much we love it. Nobody wants to be in a job where you just don't enjoy yourself. We want to be able to do the things that we love. And if that means shifting and transitioning into that place after being in a job that has been a little more than not enjoyable or less than not enjoyable, we just want to be able to do the things that we love on a daily basis so that we can enjoy our work. And it's no longer work, but it is just a joy to do it. So I want to open up today just by sharing something with you that I have always done in the past. And I want you to think on this. But when I used to do teacher workshops, we are creative consultants as well as business trainers. And we would do these workshops with the teachers, and I loved every moment of it because the very first question that I would ask them would be, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? And maybe you're still there right now. What do you want to be when you grow up? And we joke about it sometimes. We see other people, doing things in their life and like, wow, I want to be like you when I grow up. And here we are in our 40s, 50s saying these things. But it's true, because sometimes people, including myself, we go through life doing so much and we completely forget about what it was that we wanted to be when we grew up. As a child, some of these teachers would write down they always wanted to be a dancer. They always wanted to be a librarian. Some of them wanted to be in a rock band. Some of them wanted to be doctors. I mean, across the board, there were so many just wonderful visions and ideas. And here they were as a teacher. And that was not a bad thing. Just over time, they really found a passion for teaching children or young kids, teenagers, whatever level they're at. But it was so rewarding to see the smiles on their faces as they really thought about what they wanted to be. When I was a little girl, I was always wanted to be a singer. And to this day, I still sing all over the house, making up silly songs, family laughing at me, looking at me crazy. I can't help it. I tend to sing a lot when I'm getting ready to eat. I don't know if that's just what makes me happy and gives me inspiration to write these silly songs, but it's just something I always wanted to do. And so I realized I carry it with me everywhere. I may not be a professional singer. We had the opportunities to lead praise and worship, and those are wonderful memories and moments, that every day I can just stand here in my home and sing. But it's not what I do on a daily basis, with our business. I don't stand up in front of people and sing daily. I'm encouraging people, or I'm training people on how to be a better employee, or how to implement just amazing customer service. I'm helping teachers to think creatively in their classroom. Those are other things that I love, but I never lost the love and the passion to sing. And so do I want to be on a big stage singing in front of people? It's not really, what I see myself doing now. But can I still be a blessing to somebody and make them smile and laugh, or sing them a special song in a moment when they need encouragement? Absolutely. And so these teachers would share these things with us at the workshops. And it was a way to say, you know what, you wanted to be a dancer? Then tomorrow morning when you walk into your classroom, let the first thing that you do is turn some music on and come dancing in the door, and watch the children's eyes light up, and watch them get excited about seeing their teacher doing something completely out of character from what they think or know of that person, and just share in that joyful moment. It only takes a few seconds, and it opens up a door for them to see something that is so rewarding and so inspiring that you can then say, what did you want to be? Or what would you like to be when you grow up? And it gives those children an opportunity to dream for a moment and to envision what it is that they love. A lot of times, those passions get buried down deep inside because they've been suppressed by the world and by the responsibility as we get older of finding something and figuring out what it is that we need to do with our life in order to earn an income and to be able to sustain and take care of our priorities. So we forget the very thing that we had a passion for. That was part of our purpose. And that's how a lot of people get put in these places, but they see themselves end up in a position or a place where they're not happy. But if we could only learn to go back and remember the things that used to give us joy as a child. So, going back to my story, some of the teachers who wanted to be in theater or dancers did that. And they came back one day telling me, oh my goodness, I walked in and we did a little bit of drama before we started class, and they had so much fun. And that was one of the best classes that we had. And it was because you gave them an opportunity to be free. You gave those children just a few moments to be able to dream and to be free and to have fun, which opened up the door for so many other great, amazing moments throughout that day. And so that was always one of my favorite things to do. So when it comes to business and it comes to our positions as employees, as business owners, as managers, supervisors, we get put in these difficult situations of having to live up to other people's expectations instead of walking into our position, having a purpose and an excitement to do something that relates to who we are. And I know that might sound tough because sometimes we can stand in a grocery store or stand in a manufacturing plant or drive a truck down the street delivering packages. We can be in retail and feel like there's really no purpose in that. But if we find what it is that we love and incorporate it into our daily responsibility, it makes things a little bit easier to find purpose again in what it is that we're doing. Throughout these next coming episodes, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of the experiences that I had working in different places like grocery stores and retail, teaching, being a teacher for 6 years, just different things that we went through. I'm going to share those experiences with you and share the different ways that I was able to learn how to respond rather than react in those situations. Understanding that they were also just seasons. They were seasons of my life. A lot of you listening may be in a position where you've been working that job for years and years. I know teachers that have been in education for 30 something years and retiring from it, and that's all they've ever done. And that's okay. I, on the other hand, have been in so many different positions. It was like feeling like God was transitioning me into season after season after season. And sometimes that can make you feel like you don't quite know who you are, what you're doing, where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to go next, how long you're going to be in that season. It can feel a little like you're lost. But there's purpose in all of that too. And I was able to learn very quickly that every season I was in, there was a purpose for that season. Just like we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There is a purpose for every single season. Every season has something special that happens within it. And every season has its trials and its maybe harder times. But the season is amazing because then the transition comes between the two. Transition can be a little confusing. But if we learn to just trust in God in that transition, then we make it to that next place, giving Him glory and thanking Him for what we just learned in the previous season. So with that, I want to move into the topic for today. And it is called the pattern for success. Now, remember, we're not talking about success in the way of revenue, size. You can have a small business that is doing amazing things in relation to a huge company doing amazing things. Every business has its purpose. So we're not going to focus on success in that sense, but in the success of knowing that you are in the right place, that the people you have working for you are in the right place, that the job that you are doing is right on time, and that there is a season to everything. So there is a pattern to all of the things, and when we figure them out, then and only then can the flow of that pattern benefit the purpose in which we build, right? So we're building this thing. We're building a company. The businesses that thrive and they don't just survive usually follow a particular pattern, and it goes in this order. There's vision, people, work, and then purpose. And I want to break those 4 things down for you today just so you can have a better understanding of what I mean. We're going to go through some definitions of these words because it's very important to know exactly what it is that we are speaking. Let's go with number 1, vision. Vision it's the vision that relates to the thought, the concept, or dream of the business owner. So if you're a business owner, I want you to hear this. Your vision is what drives you. It's a desire to see this particular dream manifested. Whatever your dream is, whatever your business is, you want to see that manifest. It's a lot of hard work, but that vision is what drives you because you can see the end result. You can see where your passion and your purpose is. It's just knowing how to get there. But to just dream of something is not enough. There must be support. action, and drive. This is where we get to number 2, people. This is where your support comes in. This is your support system. Now, we have to learn this immediately. Your support system can come in at the beginning, the middle, and the end of your vision. Sometimes we think that as we're building something and we're working towards that vision, we have to have everything in place at the very beginning. And so if we happen to have some support, but then it ends up not being the support that we thought we needed because they're maybe not stepping up to the plate, or they're not involved as much, or maybe they don't have the same vision that you do. They don't understand your vision. That doesn't mean that you failed, or that that project or that dream is a fail. It just means that your support, your people, can come in at any moment, any step, any place within the build of that thing. And so you have some people that may come in at the very beginning that are going to help you structure, that are going to help you begin to build this thing. And if their season is up and their part is done, then you have support that comes in the middle, and then you have support that comes in the end. But it's never looking at that support as if it wasn't right, or it wasn't in the right time. They just had a season. And sometimes that can really affect the business, because as we see people come and go, it becomes discouraging. We don't understand what happened. We think something went wrong. We think someone got offended. We think that someone took advantage of us. There's so many different scenarios, because that's just in our flesh, our mind, the way we think through things. We want to process. We want to find out what happened. And that may not be the case at all. It's just that they had a season. There was a particular time for them to be there for you. And it should be a celebration of gratitude and knowing that they were there in the moment that you needed them, but they're now moving on to the next thing that they have been called to. So I want to make sure that that we understand that, because as business owners, it can get very overwhelming and very discouraging to feel like something is not going in the right direction, or someone just up and left. And now you're more focused and worried on what just happened, rather than continuing to pursue that vision. So if you have an idea and you immediately know who you want on your team, as the idea or the company grows, you begin to add more team members. This is just an example for you. As some team members decide to leave or transition into something else, those team members are replaced by a new support, which is what we just talked about. The constant transition is not negative, and it can actually be very healthy. The next part of this is the work. So we've seen the vision, we see the support system, which is the people, and now we're leaning into the work. And this is the action or the activation. Activation, it has to be a constant focus within the model of your business. So as business owners, we can speak about doing something, but without the action, the manifestation of that word never happens. And there's so many definitions of work, but the one that should be imparted into your employees or team is this. And it says to produce or operate according to plan or design. Now, my definition, taken from the dictionary and made just as simple as possible, but it's so profound, is to produce according to design. So I want to ask you a question. What have you been designed to produce? What have your employees been designed to produce? Do you know? And that's so important, because if we don't know what we've been designed for, if we don't know our strengths, if we don't know our passions, if we don't know our purpose, if we don't know what we're good at, then it leaves us lost trying to figure out where it is that we're really supposed to be. The same thing goes for your employees. If you don't know what they were designed for. You don't know their talents and their gifts. You don't know where their heart is. You don't know where their passions are. Then you don't know where to place them in the perfect place or setting or responsibility so that they can thrive, which helps your business grow because you have placed them where they love to be. You've placed them somewhere that they enjoy. You've placed them in a position that makes them feel important. Well, there's so many avenues we could take with this, and we're going to get more into it in the coming weeks, but it's just knowing what they were designed for and what you were designed for that puts all the puzzle pieces together. Now I want to jump into the last and final one, and we'll talk some more about this, but the last word is purpose. It's the final piece to the pattern, and it's the very thing that keeps the pattern in full motion as the seasons change. And we talked about seasons changing. We talked about transition. If you haven't figured out by now, I love bringing intention to knowing the meaning of these words. So to understand what the word means in relationship to who the person is, this is what will bring purpose in every situation. Purpose is the feeling of being determined to do or achieve something. I want to read that again. Purpose is the feeling of being determined. There's some determination there to do or achieve something. We all have a purpose. We all want to feel like we are doing something that is going to achieve something great. Like we want to feel like we are just purpose filled. There is a reason why we are on this earth. There is a reason why we are in this position. There's a reason. There is nothing worse than feeling like you are in the wrong place. Just sitting there. Absolutely no clue of what it is that you're supposed to be doing with your life. And being a teacher, a youth leader, we've been in these positions where we've seen young kids and teenagers that they don't know what it is that they can even achieve. They don't know where their purpose is. Now, deep down inside, I'm sure they do. I'm sure that at some point they feel that spark when they begin to do something. They feel that excitement. But at the same time, has it been suppressed by other things around us? Maybe someone telling them that they shouldn't be doing that. Maybe somebody, telling them what they should be doing. We've all lived through that growing up. Because everybody's always going to think they know better than us and what it is that we were created to do, right? It's just human nature. But at times we have to push those other voices aside and we have to listen to us and who we know we really are. Do you know who you are? That's a whole other subject for another day. So let's continue on. Purpose is the feeling of being determined to do or achieve something. It has everything to do with what a person is trying to accomplish or become. So knowing the purpose of your company is not the only important part of this pattern. And you got to get this right here. But it's knowing the purpose of your employees and the purpose that they have inside of them. This is what will add massive value to your vision. And I hope you caught that because we just went full circle. We came right back around to your vision. So you have a vision. You find the support, the people. They bring the work, and you're able to work alongside them because you work hand in hand. And it leads right to the purpose of you and them, which leads right back to the vision. So people with purpose equals value. Vision with work equals growth. And then value and growth create success. People with purpose equal value. Your people who understand what their purpose is going to bring value to your business. It's going to bring value to your project. It's going to bring value even to their life and your life. And when you have the vision with the work, putting your hands to something, actually doing something with intent, that vision with work will equal growth. Growth not only in your business, but growth in your life, growth in their life, growth in who they are, growth in their gifts and their abilities and their talents, growth to be able to move on when their season is up and be able to go and do something even greater because they experienced that growth when they were with you. You experienced growth in your relationship with your employees and with those that work for you. And your business also experienced massive growth. It is so important that we really begin to think about that pattern and what it is that helps to lead our businesses, our companies, our projects, our ministries, whatever it is that is our purpose, whatever it is that is our vision. There is that pattern to remind us of everything that is important. And so just remember that no matter where you are in your vision, no matter where you are in your business, no matter where you are in your, even if you're working for someone else and you're not necessarily a business owner, but you have a dream to be a business owner, there is purpose in every place that you're at. You have a purpose in every single place that you are at. I want to share this one last story. It is one of the last positions that I had before really going full time in working with just training and what it is that our business does, training employees, customer service. But I worked for a very, very short time for a Walmart here in the area, and I always would walk into that place thinking, Lord, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Never in my life did I think I would work for a grocery store. Now, I had worked retail. I had taught for several years. I worked at a hotel at one point. But never in my life did I ever see myself working at a grocery store or even Walmart. On top of that, I don't have anything against Walmart, but it's one of the most massive companies. You know, you're kind of like a little tiny ant being viewed by someone at the top of a tower. You know, you feel so tiny and insignificant. And so I walked in thinking, what am I doing here? And I would have other people approach me that I worked with, and they would look at me and they say, what are you doing here? You don't seem like the type of person who would be working at Walmart. And I learned real quick that although I dreaded getting up every morning and going to that place, I worked from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. I dreaded it so much. I found so much joy and so much excitement in interacting with my customers, in delivering groceries to their car every morning and having the same customers week after week, making them smile, making them laugh, being cussed out so many times and having the interaction end with you know what, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Because I learned real quick that my purpose was not to deliver somebody's groceries, but it was to be that little bit of hope and joy in somebody's life, regardless of how they treated me. Because I had to remember, they're not mad at me. They weren't frustrated at me. They weren't confused and just raging at me because it was my fault. They were mad at whatever had happened during the day and what it was that had taken place right before seeing me. And had I reacted in the wrong way, it just would have been a big mess. But in being able to respond with respect and courtesy and love, and not even flinching at them having their moment, opened up a door to feel like I was living out my purpose, my purpose in being there for people, my purpose in bringing encouragement and joy and peace, and praying with them if they needed it, talking to them, taking the time to hear their problems, taking the time just to let them shed a tear, which does happen on the drive at Walmart. I've seen it plenty of times. The customers would just open up, and it was such a beautiful thing to be able to say, you know what, Father, I know I'm not going to be here long, but in the time that I'm here, as much as I hate getting up every morning and having to be at this place, I'm going to walk in with purpose and knowing that there's a job that needs to be done, yes, but there's something even greater that needs to happen today. So as I would walk through that store and just smile, I would just smile. I could be having the worst day ever, but when my coworkers and my customers approached me, I put on that smile, and guess what? It encouraged me. It encouraged me by the time I was done interacting with them to be reminded that there is something even greater. And so just have hope, believe, and know that what you are doing in your business owners, what you are doing in those places of employment, to the ones that are still working for somebody else, but you have a passion and a goal, run for it. Run for it and just take hold of the dreams and the visions and the purpose in your life, and know that there is a purpose. Even in what seems so insignificant right now, there is a purpose in everything. I could go on and on and on, but for today, that is it. That is the pattern for success, and meaning success in knowing who you are so that everything else around you can thrive. Everything else around you can grow. And everybody else that is connected to you, there is relationship to know that whatever it is that you put your hands to will prosper, will be great, because you took the time to remember that there is value in knowing who you are, who the people that work with you are, and what it is that you're doing. What is the purpose? I leave you with that question. What is your purpose and your vision? And I will talk to you next Tuesday.